My name is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Welcome to the Broken Skull Sessions. My guest today, longtime friend, hardcore legend, and WWE Hall of Famer, Mick Foley. Mick, how you doing, man?
Thanks for having me here.
I'm glad you come all the way out here in the middle of nowhere.
Now I'm seeing the benefits of the Zoom call. This is you commit to this day, right? It's a 13-hour trip, but it's a beautiful part of the country, and it's nice to be on the road.
Let's just jump into it because we've known each other for a long time. As of late, A&E did a tremendous biography on you, and I watched it 2 or 3 times, and I was blown away by it. If you haven't seen it, you must check it out because I think it's one of the best things you will see. You get a chance to check this thing out, and how was it for you to go back and look at some of the things that you've accomplished and things that you've put yourself through?
I think this is something you and I have talked about. We're both a little hesitant to look at stuff we've done because it might not measure up to what you thought it was. And in this case, director Thomas Odefeld said he had this idea, and I was like, my story's been told, you know? The
That's
book's
what I
out
said.
there, and WWE did a great 2.5-hour documentary for All Mankind. He said he thought he had a way of telling the story. And so I was nervous when I watched it, and I could feel myself like almost getting into character. And I was just, wow, I was just so impressed. Thomas, wow, and his crew, I was really happy with it. And also really flattered because the last time they did one on me, it was 1999 or 2000, and it seemed like a natural extension of my career, like a way to wrap it up. And here it is, 21 years after the fact, and we're only doing 8 of these things. So Taker's had this phenomenal, Undertaker Last Ride. Nature Boy and Andre have had the 30 for 30, and Andre had the HBO special. But it's like, this is a really small number of people, and I'm one of them. You know?
It's a pretty big deal. And to cut you off, man, you and I have known each other for a long time. Before we jump into your story, I want to break out something. A 20-year commemorative Mick Foley Hardcore Championship belt. Decorated, obviously, with decor that you would be near and dear to.
I did get a look at that, and honestly, I thought I heard Winged Eagle, and I thought it's just the Winged Eagle, which I always loved that. I loved it. I'm not knocking the current titles, but
there you are.
A little bit. I don't think we need to have the logo quite as big. Yeah. I know it works when there's Super Bowl parades and it stands out, but this was my favorite, and the fact that the lineage of my title was, I won it from Dwayne, who won it from you, but I never put it up. If they wanted a true commemorative title, it should smell like mildew and beer, because you would have the beer baths every night when you were the champion. Dwayne, The Rock, wins it from you. I win it from The Rock, and it stays in my closet for a couple of years. And then I hear that one of the guys needs some help paying his medical bills, and I auction it. I think it'll probably be worth a fortune now, but it was auctioned at a live house show in Japan. So I don't have a title. That's something special. It really is.
So they'll probably be selling those online, and that one's yours to take home.
Ah, thanks.
If you want me to sign it for you, I will.
Yeah, I would. Do I take it down? What do I do with it?
No, but anyway, just put it over here for right now.
Yeah, thank you. That's really cool.
Hey, when I think about your career, I think about all the spectacular bumps, the physicality that you put yourself through, but I look deeper into it than that because I was one of the boys, and this, the way we look at each other, right? I always look at the spectacular psychology, the promos, the thought process that you put behind, everything you did in your body of work. So hopefully we can do some justice on this show. And I want to talk a little bit about your start into the business because as it was said on the documentary, about how you were always interested in wrestling, but finally, I'm watching some of your old clips and you're Jack Foley and you're an enhancement talent.
Yep.
Take me through your formative years once you went through training with Dominic DeNucci, and all of a sudden you're working in front of these live crowds, and you're the guy that hitchhiked all the way to the Garden to watch Snuka wrestle Morocco.
Yeah.
So what's the thought process when you're out there and you're living the dream, but you're the low guy on the totem pole, brother?
Sure. I guess I had about 15 months training with Dominic DeNucci, and now I'm an extra for WWE. You had to be pretty good to be an extra, to go in there with the best talent in the world and make sure you didn't mess up their stuff. But you have to be pretty good just to get in there.
So how long were you there before you decided to go down to CWA and turn into
Yeah.
Cactus Jack? Because even in some of your beginning wardrobe that you're wearing, there's hints of where you're going.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's at a level 2 out of 10, which you would
Right.
turn it into. So you're kind of headed that way. But at what point did you become Cactus
Well,
Jack?
you know what, Steve? I'm starting making a little bit of headway on the independent scene. You know, as soon as I sensed that people were recognizing me as an extra, I thought, all right, I don't want to put all my eggs in that basket. You know, always had a pretty good sense for when it was time to fold and go, and I want to learn my craft a little better. Brian Hildebrand, he worked as referee. Mark Curtis, one of my dearest friends, lost him to stomach cancer 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And he shows me a tape that's going to change my life. He tells me, you watch these punches. I couldn't throw a punch. And I'm a brawler with very
Yes.
limited athletic skill, but I can't throw a punch. And so he says, watch these punches. Brody and Funk, they're some of the best punches you'll ever see in your life. And on that same tape, we got Dynamite Kid and Tiger Mask. And then that's where I started going, all right, I can't be as wild and as imposing as Brody, but I can take elements of what he did. And I certainly can't wrestle like Tommy Billington, but I can launch my own body like a weapon, like he did. And what if I could add those elements and create my own kind of hybrid style? And then, you know, I borrowed from Brody and then started really borrowing from Terry Funk, to me, who's still the pinnacle of hardcore wrestling, and just started putting my own twists on it. I tell people, bring in everything and then filter out what works for you. Can I give you a case in point?
Yes, because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Kurt Hennig, one of the great wrestlers, great bump takers, but he took different bumps than I did. A lot of them had a spectacular feel, and so he would get sent into the turnbuckle. And he would simultaneously have either one foot or both feet, and he would do like a twist, and it was spectacular. I'm like,
Yes.
no, I want to sell a turnbuckle, and I want a little more realism in my turnbuckle, but I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind. And now when it comes time for Mankind to wrestle Kane, and it's time to put a little more oomph into that match,
Yeah.
when Glenn grabs me by the throat, I know that nobody in the place is going to be looking at my left foot, and I put it on that bottom rope. So when Glenn throws me off, by God, I would have made the table,
Yeah.
but I probably got an extra 3 feet on that. And so I took something I had seen, and I didn't cast it away. I didn't think it would work. Just trying to figure out where it's going to work. So if you're a young wrestler and you're up and coming, you take everything us old cranky guys give to you, even if it doesn't seem to make sense, because you never know at what point you're going to go, I can use that.
At what point were you cognitive of the fact that, hey, here is my character? And, you know, whether your character is Mankind, Dude Love,
Yeah.
or, you know, your Cactus Jack
Yeah, yeah.
now, that's your formation. That is base of how you make your decisions. When were you aware that you were, hey, this is who I am and this is how I operate?
I was still feeling my way out. On the independents, I was more of a mischievous character, right? I mean, I was having some pretty good matches. My name started getting out there. But even when I went to Memphis, now at that point, you could get booked on a little word of mouth and a good 8x10. So I've got this promo shot, the Cactus Jack, and I was cheap.
We have that shot?
I hope we do, yeah. $125 I spent on a professional photographer. No indie guy was getting, and I do these shot like this, and I'm hitting everything I possibly can and giving the false impression that I had some pipes when in fact I didn't. So that I find out like 15 years after the fact, when I show up in Memphis for my first TV match, I don't know I'm supposed to shine, because I don't know a thing about making myself look good. And on the indie scene, it was all about, can you make other people look good? And so I had the bumps, but I didn't know how to get the heat to make them mean something.
But so in essence, you knew half of the business. You
Yeah.
knew how to make somebody.
Right.
But now going into a territory,
Yeah.
you've got to know how to make yourself, or
Right.
you ain't gonna be nobody. You can make the other guy as much as you want,
Yeah.
but if you can't get yourself
Right.
over,
Now we're driving down the road, and I'm driving with Robert. And Robert's the one guy who believes in me. And he would tell me, Jack, you know, you kind of resemble that Manson feller. And I remember telling Rob, he was 5'3", he was 135 pounds. I don't want to be labeled with that. And he looks at me and he lets me know that I'm working with a limited body. Only so many jobs out there, Jacko. Fella could ride a good gimmick a long way. Yeah, look at those guns. Look at that.
Those guns.
Yeah, not that bad. I'd be lying if I said I didn't sink my teeth into that character.
what was your survival routine like when you were in the CWA? Because I'm assuming were you living in Nashville like I was? Because you're about 4 or 5 years ahead of me in the business, although we're right about the same age.
Yeah, I was.
What was your routine? Were you a Cumberland guy, or how were you getting along?
I rented a. I don't know.
Did I take you to a bad place?
I think I'm going to take it to a bad place. I rented a room with an elderly woman in her house, and she started threatening her granddaughter to be good, or else that Jack's got that whip. You know, they give me that whip. And this is, I'm essentially Shane Douglas in The Dudes carrying a skateboard. If you're carrying a skateboard down to the ring when your partner's riding it, it's a pretty good idea. You don't know how to use it. And if you're carrying a whip and you're not using it, you know, by God, you don't know how to use it. So I bail out and I get a room with a guy, and he a seasoned veteran likes men.
Yeah.
And it's a one-bedroom thing, and I wasn't as progressive as I thought. At that point in time, I was like, I don't, you know, not for me, you know. And I'm glad to say, like, when you and Regal left me stranded on the gay beach in Fort Lauderdale.
You left us stranded. You went off floating in the damn ocean to Cuba, and then me and Regal are walking down. I mean, it was a gay beach.
Gay beach.
No, nobody cares.
Nobody cares now, but at the time.
But we were walking down the beach, it's like, hey, man, we're on a gay beach. And you said, I think I'm going to go out and swim a little bit. And you started floating on your back, and then there you were.
This is one of those areas where we've made a lot of progress as human beings, because it's not that funny a story. But I see you and Regal walk over across the street to that Econo Lodge, and I'm thinking, who trades in the Atlantic Ocean for the pool of the Econo Lodge? And then I come to the rationale, I was like, oh, I'm on a gay beach. And I tear up the sand running over there, and you and William are laughing at me. It seemed, if this were to happen now, I honestly wouldn't care. But at the time, you know.
Well, I know, but the thing about it, here we were, three heterosexual guys walking down, and you decided to go swimming. Well, you got to remember, Regal was a good-looking guy.
Yeah, he was a good-looking guy.
And I had on these orange shorts.
And you had the long blonde hair.
Yeah, I had long blonde hair, but I'd washed the shorts so many times they had turned pink. So I was wearing like these hot pink shorts. So when you, the caveman of the group, went off swimming, there's me and Steve walking around like we was a couple. And like everybody's looking at us or checking us out. And I'm like, dude, this ain't right. We got to get out of here.
I was way the hell out there in the Atlantic, right?
So you're in the business for quite some time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you end up in WCW. I'm in WCW. I can't remember the first time we met because we started traveling together.
Yeah.
When was our first meeting, and why did we hit it off so strong?
When I come into '91, I don't know. We just hit it off right away. Like, we were just very frequent travel partners, almost always tripling up. Whether it's me, you, and Regal, where one of us international superstars is taking the cot every third night, or it's me, you, and Paige, and we're trying to emotionally crack him and taking bets on how many days we can do it in.
A lot of times when we would travel with Dallas, and, whether it was William Regal or whoever, but on our Dallas days, you and me would look at each other because Dallas was the senior. But as far as being time in the business, he was the youngest.
Yeah. So
that means he got, the rollaway bed because we were senior. So one time we were out on the road and we said, hey, we always did. Let's see who can crack Paige the fastest. Hey, let's see who can crack Paige first. And so, anyway, you want to tell a story?
Sure. I love telling it because
someone brought you some chocolate chip cookies.
It's like 3 to 4 dozen cookies, right? And it was really nice. In North Carolina, DDP, he would travel with his own pillows. He had all many the ointments and
on the ice bags.
Yeah, he's got the only thing he's wearing is Saran wrap around his knees, which he claims helps lubricate the joints. And so we've already made this pact that we're going to try to crack Paige. And I likened it to being like a prize fight, a couple nice jabs. You get in the car, we're about 20 minutes in. You're like, my old lady wanted me to pick up an antique on the road. So what'd you tell you? I told her I picked up Paige at the airport. It's like zing, it's a good one. And by midday, he's starting to go. And the secret weapon is, Steve, I'd gotten my foot back in the WCW door by showing up at the Great American Bash in Baltimore. And I'm there, and I see Paige as the manager, Diamond Stud. He's got Scott Hall as his protege. And Tom Zenk goes to clothesline Dallas over the top rope. And Dallas doesn't complete the journey. Nothing wrong with that. It happens to all of us.
But we know the cardinal rule.
But you don't then try to do it over on your own.
Yeah.
So he takes the clothesline. He's not successful, comes back, and then he tries to throw himself over the top rope, a journey which, again, is not successful. So he starts cussing me out, you know. He said, I'm going to, and we're in the Econo Lodge, but we're on the second level. And I'm going to throw you over that blanket balcony. And you look at me like he's really hot. And I go, that's a good idea, Paige. And if I don't make it the first time with you throwing me, I'll throw myself over the second time. And so he's reeling. He just needs that one more shot.
Yeah.
And when he goes into the shower, right?
I love your memory because it just not happening.
And so keep in mind the two factors at work here is
That was a serious threat.
Serious threat. He was 100% serious. And probably if I didn't have you there, but I know he's a good guy, right?
Yeah.
He's not actually going to beat me up, right? Like he saves lives with his DDP yoga, right? He's a great guy, but he would get hot under the collar. And you and I would be egging him on. So Dallas has we know two things. He's going to come out, he's going to be completely naked except for the saran wrap, which he lubricates the joints with. And he would also thumbtack the blinds to the wall.
I forgot.
So not even the faintest piece of light could come in. So Dallas goes into the bathroom. You and I know that when he comes out of the shower, it's going to be complete and total darkness. And we take those 3 or 4 dozen cookies and we put them in his bed, right in the corner, the cot in the corner of the room. And you and I are laying in bed in the total darkness, and we hear him crinkling as he goes, with that saran wrap. And he lays down. It took about 15 seconds to realize, like, I'm not alone in here. And he just explodes. He figures out, who put blanket cookies on my bed, and I want to know who put. And then he hears you and I go.
He goes, I don't know what's going on here, but somebody put chocolate chip cookies in my bag.
And
we're laughing our balls off.
He hears me doing the, and he comes over now. He scoops. I can't see him, but I know what he's doing.
I've told a story. You can watch. Go ahead and tell me what happened.
He's scooping up as many of the cookies as he can. He throws them on my body, and he starts jumping up and down on me. Keeping in mind, he's buck naked except for the saran wrap. And he's going there, and he's throwing those F-bombs out. Like, how do you blanket like it when someone's a blanket good, you're blanket? And he actually gives me a chance to answer. And again, just real calm, I go, Dallas, it's not the cookies I mind as much as it is your naked ass rubbing all over me. And he just got up. He was like just so defeated. And he walks over to the corner room, like crink. He laid down after about 30 seconds. He goes like, guys, tomorrow night I'm getting my own room. And in the darkness we hear, bang. It was that one day. One day was all it took, and he couldn't take it anymore.
Part of your style was, as you were saying, in your Annie biography, which is phenomenal, you need to watch it if you haven't, is one thing to do the bumps in the ring because that is something. But hey, if you do them on the floor, a whole different level.
Yeah.
Here's just, some of the, man, here's you obviously mid-flight.
Yeah.
Kevin Sullivan holding the guy. You're about to drop the
I believe that's
elbow
Lee
on him.
Scott, yeah.
And so down there, but also a little bit of action footage. Here's
this
Orndorff with the authority here.
You're not going to see this bump ever again.
No.
See, so I'm blessed because we got a lot of guys with incredible gymnastic talent.
Right.
Where if they did that same bump, it's going to look like a routine.
Yeah.
I never worked that one out. It's just you, boom, here he comes, and you're going to do it, and you're going to hope it looks good. And this is where it comes to you're throwing stuff at the wall. I got to play to my strengths. I don't like being thrown backwards, so I'm going to come up with a plan B that is almost inevitably going to make that guy look better than his plan A would have. But I would take chances with my own body. But by and large, Steve, it wasn't as high risk as it seemed. What it was high impact. Like when I come over on that clothesline over the top, I'm always going to hit my thighs hard on that thing. And I know going in, I'm very realistic about my chances of coming out of this business 100% intact. I know that's not in the cards for me because I know the things I'm doing. is going to have some type of fallout.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that. But
Yeah.
what you're doing is creating a style that, hey,
Yeah.
wherever this guy is, keep watching him because
Yeah.
he's going to do something.
Right.
There was an interesting point in the documentary. I think maybe you were considered, maybe there's a glass ceiling for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And as your wife, Colette, who you've been with forever, was watching this, watching your earlier career after you just
Yeah.
met her, you were getting slapped around a lot. And she says, hey, I think you can do better. And then you started kicking ass
Yeah.
and you did better.
And so if she had said everything you're doing is great, you don't need to change a thing, then you and I are not having this conversation.
yeah.
Her belief in me helped me get to that next level so that when Eddie Gilbert comes into my life, you know, I'm ready for it. And he's encouraging me to use my mind, and Eddie's just a great heel. So I'm learning now to work the other side as that baby face, learning to play to the people, learning what I've seen from other greats, you know, and how Terry Funk, a big one. I saw what Terry was doing, the way he was able to get emotion by wearing his heart on his sleeve. And I didn't copy it. I learned from it. And I just invested myself 100% in trying to believe in everything I did.
But in this business, if you don't have, well, you had a limited move set.
Yeah.
I had a limited move. It's not about how many moves you do, but if you don't, if you're not aggressive, or if you can't just get your stuff in, as we say,
Yeah.
or grab a hold and work it, you have to have offense.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one thing to be giving and to be able to make
Yeah,
the
yeah.
people like you were back in, hey, let's make people days. Hey, give me my $100, let me go down the road. If you're trying to get over,
Yeah.
you better mean what you're doing and put yourself in the mindset, hey, this is real.
Yeah.
Speaking of something that's pretty damn real, let's fast forward a little bit, you know, still back in the day, Germany, Munich, Germany.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're working with Vader in the main event. You guys been feuding for a while. What did you think about working with Vader?
And Leon, to me, is one of the glaring omissions from the Hall of Fame.
I'm with you.
Worldwide, he was one of the biggest drawing cards, and he bigger than me, for sure. Not in WWE, but worldwide, for sure. But I said, if you didn't fight him back, he'd eat you up. You know,
Yes.
like he was that wall. And you could knock down that wall, but he was going to make you work for it. The problem is when I remember specifically, he's working with Sean, and you go, geez, Leon's really got that style down. Now he's just got to lose 200 pounds to fit it, because he was bumping on everything Sean did.
Yeah.
And he was taking him out of, he was no longer Vader. I liked it. I liked it so much, and I've talked about this, that when I had my match at Halloween Havoc 93, I remember grabbing a camera from a fan, not a phone, you know, at the time, and hitting Leon with it pretty hard. And I look up at the crowd, and they just did that wave of recognition, you know. So maybe my second time working a main event in a pay-per-view. And that was the highlight of my career up to that point, and also the low point, because I thought to myself, I'll never get this high again. And thankfully, I was wrong. But I geared up for those battles like it was Ali Frazier, like going to leave everything out there.
We were over in Germany. We used to go to England for a week, go to Germany for a week,
Yeah.
or Germany for a week and England for a week. 2 weeks out there. But on one particular night you were working with Vader in Munich, you decided to do the old get tied up. You and me worked matches when you did it.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you go out there, you get tied up in ropes. But what people don't understand about the ropes in WCW, those are steel cables.
Yeah.
And they're running pretty tight in an 18-foot ring. So I guess you'd done it before. So, well, dude, what happened?
Look, Steve.
And why?
In retrospect, I should have taken that item off the menu months earlier, because I had been to the emergency room 3 different times, you know, for the big gashes behind my ear. Another 5 or 6 times when I got injured and certainly could have gone. So looking back on it, I should have removed it from the menu, but it was something nobody else going to take from me, because nobody else going to do it. It's a really difficult move. Very few people could do anyway. And on that night, it was just the cables were too tight. I tried to get out of there. I couldn't, and so I squeezed.
Dude, it was hard to watch. I was on the tour. It was a curtain sellout because everybody knew you was going to do the bump. There's a couple of guys that damn near did run-ins, but you know, back in you couldn't do that because that's the way the business was.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, you're going to die. I mean, because it was forever.
Yeah.
You know how tight that was?
Yeah.
It was scary.
So when I squeeze out, now we get this unique scenario. It's like something out of a Scorsese movie.
I love that you find humor in this.
It is because
Yeah.
it's, one of the things, you just look at how only in wrestling do you have
Yeah.
a situation where there was one ref, knee injury, one ref, death in the family. So they bring over a ref from France, speaks no English, is unable. Now, Leon, to his credit, he sees me bleeding. And I remember thinking to myself, all these other situations where I've hurt my ear, not a drop of blood because it's cartilage, doesn't
Yes.
bleed. And the bright red blood, it's pitter-pattering on the mat. And I'm sitting there, and blood's coming out, and I'm literally thinking to myself how much the song Rhythm of the Falling Rain sounds like Ricky Steamboat's entrance music, right?
Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm thinking. Ricky's music goes, loves his wife and kids and does the best he can. And Rhythm of the Falling Rain says, listen to, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. But I'm also like, this must be bad because I've been here before without a drop of blood. Leon sees the blood, calls a comeback. So on that grainy video, you see me block Leon's punch. I throw one of my own. Something falls off the side of my head. It's my ear, right?
And well, there's your aftermath.
A referee picks it up, gives it to Capetta. Capetta hightails it to the back. So by the time I get there, it's on ice. How many times in real life, traveling, you ever heard me drop the F-bomb? Once, twice,
You don't cuss.
Yeah. So, but I'm in character and I got the rush of adrenaline going on. I come to the back and I say, I think I lost my fucking ear. Bang, bang. And so what I want people to take away is that despite the injury, I had the wisdom, the dedication to get my catchphrase in front of the boys in the dressing room. Booker is a tough dude. Nobody messes with Booker, right? He's on his first tour with WCW. He looks at his brother Stevie and goes, I don't know if this is for me. It's like, but Steve, I had that rush of adrenaline. It came crashing down when I realized, wait, they're not going to use this? This is a gift from the wrestling gods, right? Like I can cut promos all day long. And I just thought, man, if they're not going to push this, then there's no future for me here. And that led to me giving my notice.
Okay, so you give your notice, you end up in ECW, and now you're going to start capitalizing on here, but at a later date. How did you end up down there? But there would be ECW and Japan where you would take the violence further.
Yeah, ECW had like a working agreement with one of the companies. It wasn't my company. To this day, the match I'm proudest of was January 1995, that first barbed wire match with Funk. We're in a situation where only 150 people there, but we know that the Japanese photographers are there en masse. So in 3 days, 500,000 people are going to see these photos in brilliant color. It's like our TV taping. And Terry dresses with the Japanese wrestlers. He's considered one of them. I'm with Rick Patterson from Edmonton, Tracy Smothers, a couple of the other Central American wrestlers. That was the first time I used a Tori Amos cassette to fire myself up for a match. So for whatever reason, that one song, Winter, just fuels me. I come away, I'm like flying on a cloud, right? Tracy looks at me and he goes, Cactus, there's not too many people out there. Promise me you won't do anything crazy. And I look at him like that's the most absurd request I've ever heard. And I go, I can't do that. And I get the rush when I say it because I was just so focused. Didn't matter there was 150 people there. What mattered to us is that we're going to build this promotion. We're going to get people talking about it. By the time we did that tournament in August, there was 30,000. We really made that tournament mean something.
But when you're talking about these tournaments, or the tournament where you would work your way through, so would Funk, you would meet in the finals, and there would be explosions, barbed wire, the death match.
Yep.
And they're still going on today.
Yes.
Fluorescent tubes, they've taken it to another level, but you were on that groundbreaking level.
Yeah, me and Terry split my eyebrow open.
Yeah. Man, before we get into WWE, what was it about you and the ECW promotion or crowd that worked so well? Because you would go there and just unleash everything, turn heel on them, which was groundbreaking in the way you did it.
Yeah.
But how much fun were you having in ECW to mess with, the people that were in? How much fun were you having, and how much were you learning based on feedback, given what you were giving them?
Yeah, I tell you, it was give and take.
Yeah.
It was a love-hate relationship. I remember a formative moment with Remember JT Smith?
Mm.
JT was a heck of a worker, but in one case he slipped on the top rope, crashed to the ground, and his head swelled up, and the crowd starts chanting, "You effed up," and that hit a nerve with me
Yeah.
because there were people who would say, "You sold out" when you left. You know, if people
Yeah.
would leave, and I was like, "These guys aren't going to pay any of our bills. You know, this is a chant. You know, you deserve it," type of thing. Like I really touched a nerve. I thought they expected a little bit too much out of us. I didn't literally hate them, but you'd be hard pressed to tell that because I believed I hated them when I gave those promos.
Right.
Kane Dewey. Kane Dewey. Dewey Foley is a 3-year-old boy. You sick sons of bitches! You ripped out my heart! You took everything I believed in and you flushed it down the damn toilet! You flushed my heart!
Everything I'm saying in those ECW promos, it's in character, but it's 100% real.
Shoot.
Yeah. I'm just taking it, I'm putting it on a canvas where now we're going to blend some fiction in. But as far as the emotions that fuel that promo, 100% real.
What was your end to WWE? Because Vince wasn't a fan.
It was Jim Ross with a steady drumbeat of support for a better part of 2 years. I didn't know till probably 5 years ago. Bruce Pritchard said the line was that Vince finally slammed his hand down the table. "All right, damn it. I'll bring him in, but I'm covering up his face." So that's my end. And then when I'm reading Jim Ross's book, his first book, he's talking about bringing me in, and Vince says to him, "Okay, I'll bring him in so you know how it feels to have your heart broken by someone you think is so good who turns out to be, blank." And I'm like reading Jim's book at like 3 a.m. and in my underwear under the covers, and I like yell out loud, like, "I'm a human being." Like a test tube trial, like I'm going to teach Jim Ross a lesson. That's the reason I'm there. I've never had this confirmed, but I have to believe Undertaker played a role because he was my first opponent out of the gate. And I remember it's the day after WrestleMania '96. I do the thing out of the crowd. I can barely breathe. I go out to the payphone, which you had to do in those days. I said to my wife, like, "I don't know, maybe I can just do this for 2 months and be Cactus Jack." And then I started kind of finding that groove, and I started going into the boiler room, started getting into the character. I show up in Milwaukee for our first pay-per-view, and Taker starts laying out that match. And I'm hearing something like, I think what he's telling me is I'm winning this match. And I've got to go back and say, "You mean like," and he's like, "Yeah." I never even thought in my mind. I think I'm here to work with the top guy for a few months. I'll then descend down. Maybe I can make myself a valuable player. But no way am I getting my hand raised against The Undertaker. So I have to feel like the power of the Taker was he wanted to do business. He'd seen a lot of stuff. I remember him giving him a tape, and he was like, "There's quite a lot there that we're not going to be doing." Okay.
But y'all were a perfect matchup.
Yeah. I just think he was tired of working with guys who were taller than him or bigger than him. I said in my Hall of Fame speech, and I meant it, I get the goosebumps now just thinking of it. That gong would go off. Not a night where I didn't realize what an honor it was to be in there. It's almost like you have to have a pep talk with yourself to remind yourself, I've got to make these people believe I have a chance with this guy. My hairs are standing on end. Paul Bearer's rolling up his shirt sleeves. He's got hairs on standing on end. And now I've got to go out there and be believable enough, again, aggressive enough so that those big bumps count and are as meaningful as possible when the time is right. Look at that, man.
Great picture, but you go into the Boiler Room Brawl match, you come out victorious. Paul Bearer would end up with you.
Yeah.
Okay, you and I knew Paul Bearer as Percy Pringle from our world-class championship wrestling days.
Yeah.
And Percy, God rest his soul, he's no longer with us.
Right.
But we knew him from back in the day.
Yeah.
And we loved him. Everybody loved him.
I used to babysit his kids when they were babies.
Oh, so what was your thoughts? Hey, you go through this, now all of a sudden you're with Paul Bearer.
Steve, I beat Undertaker in June of '96. I beat him in August of '96. I never won another match, and it didn't matter. So my overall record, I'm guessing, was 2 in '98. Never won another match, and it didn't matter because as soon as I had Paul Bearer on my side, we were off to the races. It was so many memorable things were done with Paul Bearer.
You had a great run with The Undertaker. It meant a lot to you to get you
Yeah.
going, but also you would go on to have some matches. Let's go to 1996 and Mind Games in
Yeah.
a match with Shawn Michaels. I think it's one of your best matches
Yeah.
of your career.
Simple, right?
Yep.
A nice backdrop. We're not reinventing the wheel here.
Nice
We got
bump.
the champion taking that.
Both
I think I
guys
come
over.
off. Here's something I don't think you've seen before, where I lift up the mat and we're going to let the mat.
Creative spot because
Yeah.
of who you're working with.
Yeah, drop kick.
Never seen that before.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
hadn't been done yet.
And
And then, of course, the stomps. How'd that feel?
yeah, they were there for sure.
Yeah.
They were there for sure.
Here we go. Nice catch here.
Good catch, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's trust. You can either catch
of
the guy,
trust.
you can treat him like a piece, don't catch
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Here we go. Good sell job. Here comes the feed. Nope, I think I'm gonna get out of here. Exit strategy employed.
Character tease it. I need the urn,
Oh,
right? Like,
got
I
that
need-
earned. All right.
There we go. Shawn hits that. He hits that handstand. I'm not there. He comes into the corner, starts berating me, slaps me in the face. Tommy Dreamer, like a year and a half later, you know the way business is. You catch
Yeah.
up with guys. He goes, "Cactus, how did you not snap when Shawn started slapping you around when you messed up that spot in the corner?" I said, "What?" He goes, when he went for the handstand, you weren't there. I said, "Tommy, that was our spot." The first of I know intentionally botched spot in the corner. Steve, I come out of there with a forearm, and Shawn goes down like he's been hit with an elephant gun, and I get that feeling, something's different here. And from that point on, we got him eating out of the palm of our hand. This is a cool move because
Dude, you know steps, because
Yeah.
I've suplexed you on these things, and this does not feel good.
bam, yeah.
Why? What is your deal?
Just feel like if I can,
Nice bump, nice execution on his part, not to take your knee
yeah,
out.
take knee out. I'm not putting all my weight on that.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to lift the whole body up, not just,
Yep,
right?
push it
Bam,
up,
so
yeah.
they come down as flat as possible.
Okay, is this homage to Abby?
I'm trying to get some feeling in the
Yeah,
leg.
yeah,
I
you're trying to
wasn't,
get the feeling back, but were you thinking Abby?
I wasn't specifically thinking Abby, but I think if
Yeah.
you, there we go.
There we
Boom.
go. God dang,
This is
dude.
now, he's going to come up, right? Now here, look at him, all concentration,
Dude, look at
bam.
you.
And now Shawn's,
Yeah.
he's trying to make sure I can get out of those things, even as he's,
Earl's working too.
yeah.
God dang. You have to understand, or you maybe don't understand, that is a very tricky bump that should not be tried by just
No,
anybody,
no, no. Because you can really, yeah.
ever.
Here you
Load
go.
the mandible claw, able to slingshot you into the barricade, get you off of him.
And Hugo's earning his money. Look at that. We got gold dust glitter all around.
Incorporate
Oh,
the
yeah.
chair, yep. Okay, thank you. That didn't feel very good. Good swing here. See, I was surprised with the sideways swing and caught you at the edge rather than just the flat
Yeah.
spot.
But he started dissecting the fingers so I couldn't use them for the mandible claw.
Yeah.
A little, maybe a young Pete Dunne was watching at that time. Pete's so
Oh,
good
nice
with that finger
backdrop by
manipulation.
Shawn. All right, he's kind of trying to dismantle that mandible claw.
Yeah, I can't use it like I'd like to. It was just this feeling where everything, here we go, bam.
Nice bump.
And
Back
now
into the ropes.
here it is, the only move I practiced in my 4-year full-time tenure with WWE. Have to make sure I don't kill the champion.
Nice bump. Dude, and Shawn he would bump through a table.
Sure. And again, it's all about the trust.
Yep. And you're going to take the brunt of it. Boom. Down you go.
Essentially, that's our Iron Lotus. If Shawn doesn't trust me, You know, same way if Chaz Michael doesn't trust McElroy, they can't do the Iron Lotus.
Oh, here comes Vader. Boom, boom, boom. Big old dude.
Off the rope. Look at this.
Nice bump by Lee.
Yeah, big bump. And I can't get the mandible claw to work for me.
Good feed, blind feed into the mandible. Good sell by Sean.
Mankind driving the mandible claw down into the throat.
One of my big regrets, Steve, is that I never had a Mania with Sean or Taker, because I would have loved to have had that stage with them. So funny, because I'm so glad Sean recalls this, because if you notice that in your mind, you know, whatever you've had, 1,500, 2,000 matches, you remember certain ones because they were rotten, certain ones because they were the best you could do, and then a lot of stuff just gets lost. You don't remember. And I remember seeing some pretty good matches. Like, I don't remember a single thing about that. Whereas that match with Sean, I remember everything I was thinking, every single thing we did. And to find out that he felt that same way about that match, and that he put it on his top 10, I'll dare say his top 10 is more impressive than mine. His top 10 is going to be as good as anyone's top 10 ever. So what I would like the younger wrestlers maybe to watch that and see, how many false finishes were there? 3, 4? It wasn't a combined, oh my God, he kicked out of that, kicked out of that. It was just, you know, the segues were just as good as they could possibly be. And I gas out like 5 minutes from the end, you know, but I mean, I hung in there for 26 minutes with a much better, you know, much smaller.
Thoroughbred.
Thoroughbred.
Sean,
And but what I love about it, Sean was what, 210 at his peak?
Yeah.
I'm 270. He's the perfect size for me to be a big guy.
Right. Good shot there. And look, that's almost like, is that really a match? It's almost like it's pose. Working on that mandible claw, he's looking at you. What a capture.
Yeah. One of my, you know what, after that, Sean and I went around together, but I'm really hurting with my lower back, and Sean's got some back issues. I said, Sean, we might not be able to have the 5-star matches, but I'm not gonna give you a single bump, and we're gonna have a pretty good match. And this is my offense, Steve. Not just the mandible claw, but the fingers to the.
Yep.
And Sean he's so well, you know, that I would drop down to those knees and he'd come up and feed over to those ropes. And now I'd utilize everything I have at my disposal, but I'm not giving him a single bump. And he's able to heal up on the road while we're
Tearing the house down.
Tearing the house down. There
Yeah.
might be a few cynics out there, you know, mailing in a worse, you know.
But working a particular way for a reason, because the guy's in bad shape.
Right, just like I said, the chemistry was there. Wish I'd had the big angle in a Mania match, but still just real privileged to have had that opportunity with Sean.
You know, early in your formative years, you had developed a character named Dude Love. And you had talked to Sean, and you know, like you thought maybe you could have been Sean, not Sean, but
This is, you know,
held in that regard.
You know the story, all right?
Yes.
The story is Sean and I, we're in the midst of this run where I'm taking perfect care of him, and he appreciates it. And he says to me, like, don't take this in the wrong way, but, and we know most sentences that start with the words, he said, is this always how you pictured yourself? And I kind of laughed. I said, no, I wanted to be you. I wanted to be the guy who got the adulation from the women. And I tell him about this character, Dude Love, in the home movie we made. Ooh, Bruce Pritchard's there backstage.
Yeah.
So Bruce goes to Vince and goes, Mick Foley's got a backstory, and he's got the video to prove it. Vince had come to learn that there might be more to my real life story than he had realized, and that it might be more interesting than the fictional character that we had created together. And he wants me to come out and do what Dustin did, Dustin Rhodes, a couple weeks earlier, which is give a shoot interview out of character. And I said, I've got a lot tied up in this. A lot of people were scared of that character. I said, I don't want to come out and admit it's character. Well, Mick, I really want people to get a better feel for you. I said, what if I do this interview 100% honest, but I do it in character? He looks at me and goes, you think you can do that? And Steve, for all the things I may have lacked physically, when it came to feeling like I could pull things off, I know I can. I didn't even know Vince was there that day. We go to switch tapes, and I hear a voice in the darkness, and he goes, this is outstanding.
I agree.
And that's the moment everything changed.
They were looking at me like I was garbage. So I picked up the largest specimen, Jimmy, and I sucked it down to show them that their attempts to hurt my pride would not be successful. I thought, Jimmy, that I'd shown them. But then, sure enough, the story became exaggerated, as everything in life does, and it no longer became, well, Mickey Foley ate one worm because some kids were picking on him. It became Mickey Foley eats a plate full of worms every day. Do you think I got many dates after that, Jimmy?
Probably not.
Do you think girls wanted to kiss a boy who had worms on his breath? I'm a good kisser, but I never got the chance to show it.
So that first one airs, and you and I are riding, and you said, "Kid, they turn your baby face." I said, "I don't think so, Steve. I think I just want people to know the character." You look at me and you said, "You'll be a baby face in 3 weeks." And there was no turn. I never came out. I never saved anybody. It was just this organic build.
And those series of interviews, those are classic. But it set up a match where, you know, I was part of the tag team champions, and I was going to face Davey Boy Smith and Owen Hart, but I was going to have to face them single-handedly. And you would take it upon yourself to volunteer your services in helping me defend my World Tag Team titles. Let's go to that footage. All right, I'm doing pretty good here against Owen.
Not bad,
There's a
right?
little
1 on
call
2.
there. Yeah, kid's in pretty good shape. I'm going for the snap mare.
So by this point, our fans know that I've had this character.
Yeah.
Right? And they've only seen me as Mankind, other than the 20 or 25% who may have been familiar with what I did as Cactus Jack.
Ow! Steve-O, looks like you could use a little help, my man, like maybe a tag team partner. What's the matter? Don't you recognize me? No, I don't
what
blame
the
you for not
F?
teaming up with that mutilated freak Mankind, but you
When I
never
say the
said
name is
nothing
when it gets
about
a pop.
teaming up with the hippest cat in the land. Steve-O, baby, it's me, Dude Love, and I am coming to see you.
And now it's
today.
like, wait, this is the guy he was talking about.
Okay, what is the feeling walking out, Dude Love music, different persona,
Different
character,
persona.
and now like,
I'm wearing Bob Holly's white boots. They've made that shirt for me like on 2 days' notice. Vince decides to bring Mankind to life. Hey, pal, how'd you like to be Dude Love? I said, like, one time from now on. So, and it worked, right?
yeah.
300-pound guy who can't dance, dancing.
Okay, help me out. Okay, so yeah, thumb in the eye here. Come on in, do some
come
more
on.
again. We are. But you know what? That's when you tag a guy and don't leave the people hanging.
Yeah, right. And he slips
Okay,
behind. At
there
that
you
point,
go.
I was using the mandible claw, which
Yeah.
we coined the love handle.
And Owen Hart with a drop kick from the top rope. And Stone Cold Steve Austin with a boot. The starter! It's over! Dude Love!
There we go.
Count it, baby, count it.
Owen should have been there.
Oh, a
for
little
the-
bit late, yeah.
A little
yeah.
late.
Now we're champs.
Brother, I'm about to do some dancing.
But you know when you got a guy that comes out there, you get the interest pop that you got.
Steve,
Everybody's
if you
invested in you.
remember, there have been about 3 or 4 weeks where I was coming to your aid, and I want to be your tag team. I'm coming out as Mankind. I got a sign around my neck that says "Pick me, Steve." I'm fighting off people, and what am I getting for my efforts? A stunner.
Yeah.
A stunner.
Yeah, play that character.
Yeah, and it's like we are going to now. Here we go. You embrace at least the philosophy of Dude Love, if not the guy himself.
Not yet. But okay, now you've got the adulation of the women. Oh no, what me? What? Me?
So hokey, right?
Yeah.
I haven't been this guy
And I'm
since
like,
I
hey,
was
man,
18 years old. There you go.
We're the champs. Seal the deal.
There it is. Handshake. You know what's funny, Steve, is Dan, the great Dan Pucciarelli,
Yeah.
sends me a few photos a few days ago. And the first two are photos I've seen 100 times. Me and you at the photo session. And the third one, I don't even know it exists, but it's my wife with her arms around me. And I was like, this is such a great photo. There it is, right? But I didn't even know that was part of what we did because it was never used. And now, here it is so many years later. I'm so glad that exists. So glad my wife was featured in this, and that her contributions were.
Well, I
not-
saw you on a phone call in the A&E biography. Some women had hit the stage, and you had quickly made a phone call on a payphone explaining to your wife, "Hey, yeah, I don't,
There's a
everything's
character.
cool."
Yeah, everything's cool. There's a character. They're paying these women.
Yeah.
No one's actually throwing undergarments.
So the fact that here she is.
Yeah. And she did. She got a run in there on at least one or two occasions.
How fun was it for you to finally do the Dude Love character, the guy you created back with high school, college,
Yeah.
your formative
Well,
years?
it
and now
was-
live it up on the biggest stage of all.
It was a lot of fun, but I will say not as much fun as when we turned that character heel. And Dude had a chance to work with you for those two pay-per-views.
Yep.
Because you've just won the big one, right, at Mania against Shawn.
Yep.
With Tyson as the referee. And now I get the honor of working not one, but two pay-per-views with you as heel Dude Love. And we just clicked, right?
Yeah, man. The Backlash match was a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And I've got footage from Over the Edge. These were very fun matches that we were working together.
By the way, Mr. McMahon's wearing a boys medium. I saw the shirt afterwards, a boys medium.
Man. Watch clothesline. Of course, Mick. He's not impressed. Okay, let's see what we can do with this chair. Watch. See the ribs? Nice shot. Oh.
And Vince had made it a point that only these arms and these
Yeah.
arms only, and he won't count. He won't
By
count.
my hand and my hand only.
Look at
Well,
that.
yeah.
His facial
He ain't
expressions.
counting. Okay, here's the timing spot.
There we go.
I'm
Chair
using
shot.
peripheral vision here. Here you come, loaded up. Do you remember his two caps
His
shot
two
off his
caps
front
shot
two
out,
teeth?
yeah. His two caps shot out.
Yeah, it fell right on top of me. Wham, stunner, here we go.
I did a
It's
lot
over.
of things well, but taking a stunner wasn't one of them.
No, you did great. It's over.
It's
3
over.
count, stunner. I'm trying to hook the leg. I'm trying to hook the leg. 1, 2, Pat Patterson, you son of a bitch.
No, Taker's
Watch his
gonna put
punch.
it in
Watch
the-
his punch,
Great
though.
punch. Bam!
Boom.
Oh, yes. Like he was back at the Cow Palace with Ray
Watch Pat
Stevens.
go up for Taker. Okay,
Ah,
man of a claw on me.
Man of a
Taking
claw.
care of business. I'm down.
Right?
I'm almost pinned. Let me roll back a little bit. Pat's going to try to get in here and count it. Here we go. Not so fast, my
Watch the
friend.
height on this. This is
Watch the height. He goes up. Because Briscoe's going to sandbag him.
Look at Pat. He's like, oh,
Beautiful.
yes.
Ass over kill. There you go. Down. Okay. Okay, pinning position. I'm done. You got me.
Briscoe.
Okay, same scenario. Watch this setup.
Jerry's a little heavier.
Come
right?
on, Briscoe. Oh, back in the man of a glove. Okay, blowing.
Boom. Family
Stunner.
jewel. Again.
Yeah.
This hand and this hand only.
Oh, the only thing I can do, get his hand and his hand only. Drag him over. This is a great match. This is a great time.
Man.
What a great response from the crowd. Now, earlier on in the match, Matt weren't there. Earlier on in the match, there were some cars out there that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
worked around.
Yeah.
And you had incorporated, I threw you into some cars, and you sunset flipped me. I don't know if you
car.
remember that.
Because they kept changing the rules as they
Yeah,
went.
but then
This
it
match
turned
is
into a
now-
false count anywhere.
False count anywhere.
But the fact that you were on a car and you sunset flipped me, and then you also did a backslide.
No false count anywhere.
You backslided me. I'm like, here's the hardcore legend. He sunset flipped me and backslid me out in the aisle of all the dastardly things we could have done with the cars, and that's what we did. But it was so much fun.
It was a great match. And that was, I think, all the bells and whistles started becoming a little more commonplace after that. But that was one of the first I remember where you've got the outside interference, Briscoe, Patterson, the deck is stacked against you. You've got Undertaker, there's the enforcer. And again, it's just that feeling where everything you're doing is going up another level. I mean, I had pretty big aspirations, but nothing I ever dreamt of would have ever lived up to what we were able to do in real life out there.
Man, and those were fun times. And again, that Backlash match was a sumbitch because I was watching the highlights of that. There's some hard-hitting stuff in there. And we had great chemistry in the ring.
Yeah.
And I always enjoyed working with you because you would never phone it in, and you always wanted to go gangbusters, and you never blew up.
How was that?
Or if you did blow up, I didn't know.
Kept it a secret. But I mean, I worked hard when I had those big matches to try to get that wind up to where it needed to be.
Want to take you to a place where sometimes I think I've seen you on your one-man shows talk about being known for one match. You know what I'm going to say? It's that Hell in a Cell match. So Kane and I in a main event, first blood match. You guys are the semi-main, but this is the match of the year and steals the show, and we cannot follow it. So
Glenn to this day is like, thanks a lot. I win the WWE title and no one cares.
Okay, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels had a killer Hell in a Cell match a year or two prior to this. So you go into this match and you're of the mindset that you need to top this match, and y'all are going to come up with the damnedest thing.
I'm just trying not to embarrass myself. In my opinion, Taker Shawn's still the best cell match there's been.
Incredible.
And now I'm the guy, essentially now the moving part that's changed is we got Mankind instead of Shawn. And I'm a guy who maxed out in gym class with 4 pull-ups, when I was considerably lighter and younger. We go to watch the original at the WWE offices. And I just look at Terry, I said, what am I going to do? Terry's got this great mind for the business. He goes, Cactus, I have no idea. And then he starts laughing, goes, you know what you ought to do? You ought to start the match on top of the cell. And he starts just like saying, and then wouldn't it be funny if you were thrown off that cell? And he starts laughing. And I look at him, I go, I think I can do that. And now I've got to try to sell that to Undertaker. So people say, well, why couldn't you just climb up there? No, because if I climb up there and he doesn't follow me, we're looking at a stinker, beyond compare. And every day for several days, no. And then finally he looks at me and he says, why are you so intent on killing yourself? And I just tell him, I can't match up to what you and Shawn did. And he and I had, I think, 7 pay-per-views together, maybe 12, 13 matches on TV. We worked all around the country. We got this legacy. As far as I know, this is going to be the last time we're in the ring together. And I don't want to embarrass myself. He looks at me and goes, I'll think about it. And it wasn't until we got to Pittsburgh. We had a few days off. I take my family to Santa's Village in the mountains of New Hampshire. Why? I don't know. Why I'm going on vacation before the biggest match of my life. It's just this one incredible memory. Noelle, I think, is 3 or 4 at the time. She's on her first roller coaster. We're going up this little ascent on Rudy's Rapid Transit roller coaster. Never been on a roller coaster before. She kisses me on the cheek, and I said, what's that for, honey? And she goes, because you're a good man. And now we go down the hill 24 hours later. I'm flying off that cell and into the pages of wrestling history, but I don't know it at the time.
We're going to go through some footage, so let's just watch.
I'm really struggling. Look,
it's hard when you got a big-ass foot trying to get in those little squares on a chain-link fence trying to get to the top. As you stated in one of your one-man shows, this is about a 16-foot-high structure. Yeah. Okay, 16 feet high is one thing. That's high. But when you stand up, you're 6'1".
Yeah.
That's another 6 feet up. So you're not leaving from 16 feet.
Yeah.
You're leaving from above that. So you're up there, and this is an impressive sight.
This is the first time I'm up there. I lied to Vince, I lied to Taker when I said I was up there. And even though I don't curse much in person, I look over the top and I'm just filled with effort. You gotta be effing kidding me.
Yeah.
There's no effing way. I was so glad when Jericho wrote his book. He said he was thinking of doing something. He said, but I looked down, the people looked like ants. And he said, I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
They looked like ants. And they did.
Yeah.
They did, because you were up there the one time, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like they look microscopic down there.
Yeah, it's different.
And now we don't know this thing is being held together by twist ties. Taker and I almost go through it on a couple of occasions.
Well, you can hear them rip
Yeah.
if you listen to
Bing.
the footage.
Twing!
Taker's talking about hearing them shoot off, and you guys can't literally stand in the same square together.
Yeah.
Or close to the edge. Caught him by the edge of the chair. Okay, and you guys don't waste any time in getting this spot.
Oh, my God. Look out. Oh, man! The God Almighty! The God Almighty! That killed him!
That is a calculated risk by a guy who's taking a lot of bumps.
Yeah.
Taking a calculated risk in front of 20,000
And
on pay-per-view.
so what adds to the surreal nature of the moment is I spin out, and now so half my body's sticking out there in the crowd.
Yep.
People they're realizing what they've seen. Like it just built to the point now where we realize we got to lift this cell in order to get me out of there on the gurney. Undertaker starts ascending towards the heavens.
Look at the raise of the cage, and the Undertaker's still on top. This match is maybe over. I'm telling you.
People start the hockey chant, which was new at that time. Steve, to me, even though I'd been Cactus, I'd been Dude Love, when they take off the mask, I believe it's symbolic. I'm no longer a character, I'm a guy.
Right.
And I'm in rough shape. Like, we all realize
Yeah.
that. And I told Taker and Vince, I don't know if I can make it back up, but if I can, I'm climbing that son of a bitch again. And when I do, like I had said, like, man, if you could have just bottled this energy at the source, you could have lit up that city for a week.
So you told him that on the fly.
I tell him ahead of, all right, if I can do it, I'm going to go back up.
Okay.
I don't know if I can, but if I can, I am.
On the spot.
On the spot. Beforehand, I let him know.
Okay, beforehand,
Yeah.
okay.
But this is where I regret that I didn't have the energy to exchange with Mark.
Yeah.
But if I'd had the energy, Steve, and if I'd gone up for this choke slam the way that I usually did,
Right.
then you and I are not having this conversation, because it's the only time I take a bad choke slam, but because of that, I don't over-rotate and land high in my head.
See, that was my question, because I know you normally like to get some
Yeah.
get some air, and he picks guys up, but he'll take care of them.
Yeah.
So, but that was shoot.
Shoot. And we
Cage
think,
was not supposed to
well,
break.
I've told Richie, what I want is I want an image where the cage slowly starts to tear. And so my big spot, before I talk Vince and Taker into saying I can go off the top, is that he's going to choke slam me, and he's going to stuff my body like I consider it like a rabbit hole, upside down. This is where Undertaker says,
Yeah.
see if he's alive.
Yeah. Now he goes over to check your pulse
Yeah.
to see if you're still alive. He's buying time for you.
Yeah, he's tough
Yeah, but
son
he's
of
got a broke
broke
ankle.
foot, and he has to drop there.
Commissioner Slaughter, Terry Funk, and you see that from a television perspective. Oh! Now Terry Funk trying to help Mick Foley. And Terry gets a choke slam for his trouble.
He takes that choke slam. Terry's shoes come off his feet, and I have no idea what's transpired. So now, Steve, if you ever went old school with The Undertaker, arms are thrashing. Look at me. I look like a sloth there, right? Like,
So he's buying time for
buying
you.
time for me. And now as I sit there, the cobwebs, they start to dissipate. And this is where I realize I got that big gash underneath my lip. And I'm like, if I can just take my tongue and stick it through there. It doesn't happen. It looks like I'm smiling. I believe this is the first time tacks have been used in North America. I think. I'm like the guy bringing them over from...
Here's the thing, with all the bumps that you've just taken, here's the showmanship aspect to scatter a couple and then pour them all out.
Yep.
So you're still there.
Yeah,
All
and
right?
now it's been pointed out to me, I don't land smack dab in the middle and I
And
roll around.
That's the thing. You're taking it a bit further.
But I will say the choke slam was called on the fly because I didn't think that we'd given him enough of the tax.
Okay, everybody always asks you, hey, did that hurt? Okay, we know it hurt. Here now, when you look back, dude, what is your state of mind here? Because you're going to do a run in on my match.
I'm going on.
Call this on the fly.
Yeah.
Bam. You talk about giving people their money's worth.
And now, just imagine, I still have to be able to go up for this. And of course, Taker's gonna, bam. I'm
Dude,
280 at that time.
He picked you up like nothing.
Like a feather, right?
Yeah. Okay, watch your
Kick.
right leg.
Still, it's little things, right?
What I always love, the frog leg kick. I mean, it's instincts to try to kick out. And you didn't do it in every single finish you've ever been in, because sometimes there's a time where you just stay there. But after everything, there's that kick out.
Yeah.
And that's just instincts of a guy trying to win a match and not be pinned. That just meant volumes to me. Through the totality of that match.
Yeah. But you can see people aren't chanting. It's like a smattering of respect because they don't know what they've seen.
Dude, they don't know how to respond.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what to say.
Yeah. For the longest time, I'm pretty sensitive to the fact that I'm only remembered for that one thing. The two things that hit me were that I come home and my wife tells me my younger boys want to see this match. They're probably 5 and 7 at the time. Kids at school have been talking about it, and I'd only seen the clips. The clips. Jim Ross, good God Almighty, they killed him. Somebody stopped the man match. That had become iconic. They're showing it in World Cup soccer games, Super Bowls, and whatnot. But I hadn't actually watched the match in probably 10 years. So I sit down there with my boys and I watch it, and I realize that all these years later, man, it still really packs a punch. Like it's a ride. Like it takes you on a ride all these years later. There are people, again, getting the legit goosebumps talking about something I did. That combined with Undertaker coming to one of my events in Austin, right? He and Michelle come, and we start reminiscing, and Taker looks at me. He still called me Jack at the time, one of the last holdouts for my Cactus Jack. He says, Jack, what you and I did that night will outlive us both. People will be talking about that match long after you and I are gone. And it was almost like I feel this weight being lifted off my shoulders. And then I realized, wait a second, like I wanted to make people feel the way that I felt the night that I saw Snuka come off the top of that cage. And I've done it, and I'm too stubborn to realize it. And do you know how many great workers there have been in our business who aren't remembered for anything? And it's like, now I've got not only this match, but also the title change with The Rock. Like I got a few things, and it no longer bothers me that I'm asked about that match almost every single day. It was, what a photo that is. Look at that ring filled up with people. That first time I go off the edge and it's Terry comes out, Vince comes out, almost theatrically, right? Timing's great. And the second one, my brother told me, he's watching it. My mom used to pay for the pay-per-views, and then he would show them to her the next day, and he, absolutely not. You're not watching this. And he said, I could tell when those people, they're in there. Sarge, we've got 3 referees, Sarge, Francois, Dave Hebner, and Terry, as they don't know what the situation is.
Just a heavy-duty moment and getting your mouth stitched up, heavy price to pay. Here's an iconic picture right here. I forgot about this picture. Dude, you've already been out there. You've worked that match. I had staph infection. I was in a hospital in Houston for 3.5 days. Flew there for the pay-per-view.
Right.
I'm working with Kane in the main event, First
So this
Blood.
is before your match?
Yeah, because you've already worked. so there you are. And I'm like asking you, I'm like, dude, I said, can you make it out there?
Because the timing is everything in this thing, right? And so what else is crazy is that in between these times, somehow I've comforted Pat Patterson after his partner passes away. Now, it may have been after this, but I remember Pat's partner, Louis, passed away.
Yeah.
He's in Vince's office. I give Pat a big hug, and there's Linda McMahon, and with Linda is this young lady I'd never seen before. She says, I look up, I give her this shy this crooked smile, and that's Stephanie. So that's the first time I meet Stephanie McMahon, is in Vince's office. Now, I am interfering in a match that is going to cost you the title and give the title to Kane. By nature of the fact that I am interfering and costing you the title, I should have some heat with the crowd. And instead, when I come out, it's just 18,000 people like, haven't you had enough? And Jim Ross is like, for crying out loud, it's the saddest little run-in of all time. But I still had the timing down, right?
But you know what? Due to the body of work that you'd put in, with all the sacrifices that people saw you make,
Yeah.
they realize hard work and who's phoning it in and who's not, and you never phoned it in, and you're putting everything on the line. You'd built a lot of equity with that crowd.
Yeah.
When you leave this match, I mean, it's not a double turn, but it's almost a turn because you cannot help but respect what this dude, you have just done. So when you come back down, it's like, first of all, nobody can believe you're still alive, much less to interfere in a match.
So by virtue of the things you said, this momentum just starts building surrounding that match. And I'm so grateful this is before the days of the internet, because it probably would have trended for 2 days and then been forgotten. And instead it starts building up speed like a snowball going downhill. And now people start showing up with those Foley signs. And I have come to realize that I can't put my body in that type of jeopardy as often as I used to. So I start thinking outside the box, and I start bringing warmth and kindness to this warped character, and it's starting to work. And we start taking this guy who had literally scared people, and now he's saying, DX, if you don't like that, I've got 18 words for you. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? And people are counting it out, and they're like, there are 18 words, and everything I'm saying is connecting, and I'm finding a way to reach these fans that I previously hadn't before. Now I start playing up this, warmer side. Vince starts taking a shine to the character. I get involved. He's clearly using me. We do some great stuff with Vince. Shane has seen the error of his ways. He has a falling out with his father. I become Vince's surrogate son.
Just one thing. In some respects, I think I lost a son tonight, but maybe I gained another one.
Really? Gee, thanks, Dad.
The gamut of expressions that go through that face of his over the course of like 5 seconds is just a thing of wonder. And I had the chance to play off Briscoe and Patterson and Sarge. Like, people see this coming, like he's taking advantage of this guy. He gives me the manicure. I get all shaved up. I still have the mask on. And it's just the tables are set. Nobody sees the double turn coming at Survivor Series. But when it does, that leads me into this great rivalry with The Rock, which then leads The Rock into his, WrestleMania with you. And then plants the seed so that when The Rock and I team up, it becomes something that just stands out in people's minds.
Before we get to all of that, it would lead you and I to the debut of Mr. Sacco in a hospital room because Mr. McMahon is not feeling well. And he's not one of the greatest performers of all time.
Incredible. Apple juice.
Really big fella wants to come see you.
I don't want any visitors.
So he thinks it's going to be you.
I told you.
Here's
Oh,
this
yeah,
big guy.
sure, Stone goes out to get him.
He's really big.
And
He's
so
threatening to stay.
Vince doesn't realize that as long as I'm in there, he's okay.
Yeah.
visitors! I don't want any visitors!
Upside down. Vince, it's me.
How did you find me?
I saw what happened. I felt really bad, so I brought you.
So hard shaped chocolate. Largely eaten. Look at his expression.
Smiley face on your shirt.
Got
Yeah.
a sweet tooth.
And he got his sweet tooth.
This is great. This is great.
Look at the sad sack on God's
I know
face.
you're in a lot of pain. That's why I brought you these. Those things are delicious. And I'll tell you what, I brought another guest here who really wants
Female
to see you
entertainment.
bad.
If you think I think you know what
She
I
has a
mean.
trick with a
I
dog.
brought another guest for you. Someone who really wants to see you bad.
What? You brought him.
No. It's not a him, it's a she. It's a she. I brought you some female entertainment, and I think you know what I mean. She does a trick with a dog that you won't believe. Vince McMahon, say hello to
Innuendos
your ball.
are quite obvious.
Benny, I sure did. Here's a rainbow for you so that you know that there are brighter days ahead. Nothing but smiles. So I have this wonderful sticker for you. We'll just put it right here. Keep it.
Talk about wearing out a welcome.
Show me the trick with the dog.
Show the trick with the dog.
Any damn
Dog with it, people don't know. It's a balloon animal. Yeah.
Show
them the trick with the dog.
You sure will. See, I can tell the difference it's making.
So now I am on my belly, I believe, crawling underneath.
Visitor, another special guest.
What the hell are you doing?
Mr. Sacco! Say hello to Mr. Sacco. Mr. Sacco knows you've been feeling mighty bad, so he's gonna give your boo-boo a big kiss.
No, don't kiss the boo-boo.
No, man.
Hey, no, Mick,
No.
please. Please, just
Mr.
leave.
Sacco.
Damn it, leave.
Please.
Damn it, leave. And take this crap with you.
He's sealing his own
it out.
fate here.
Take it
Oh,
all
yeah.
out.
This is what makes it, right? Without this, camera zooms in,
Mr. Sacco.
boom, gold right there. Gold.
I tell people, okay, that's you and me standing in a room.
Yeah.
But you remember you and I were in a bathroom.
Yeah.
It was literally
Right.
this big.
Right.
And you were telling me, he goes, I've got something. I think it's going to be pretty good. Maybe. I said, what is it? And you pulled out Mr. Sacco. And I freaked out. I said, oh, it's going to get over like $1 million. He goes, you think it'll work? I said, oh, yeah, it'll work like $1 million. And that's why I'm laughing my ass off because we're just shooting the shit there. And if you remember, we were laughing our ass off so hard in that room that they had to come knock on
Oh,
our
yeah,
door and say,
knock,
would
tell
y'all
them
shut
quiet,
up?
yeah.
We're trying to get Mr. McMahon stuff.
Because he's doing that ultimate cranky thing, and we're laughing like this. Here, there's two badasses, and they got to tell us to stop laughing. We're giggling like kids in there.
But this is going to be money. You're on your way to becoming one of the most over baby faces in the company, and you're going to start doing business with the heel Rock.
Mm-hmm.
What was your experience like working with the Rock? Him being heel.
Well, before that hand, I had worked with The Rock when I was a bad guy, and he was the good guy, but the fans didn't get the memo. So, this was The Rock who's trying too hard to be the traditional babyface. People aren't buying it.
Nope.
I wrestle him in Richmond, Virginia at a pay-per-view. He comes off the top with the crossbody, which was his finish. We roll through and into the mandible claw, and the place comes unglued. They were so happy to see him losing. And then to his credit, he starts doing the thing. He becomes a member of the nation, starts talking in third person. Very quickly, everyone realizes, oh man, we're onto something. We all know the destination.
Right.
Wherever it's going to be you and Rock. At the beginning, the idea is we're going to do a run and get him ready. And so the one obstacle I thought is that he's so entertaining. It's only a matter of time before you keep people from cheering him.
Yeah.
Can we show a genuine mean streak? And that's where the whole idea of the I quit match with the handcuffs and the chairs comes in. And we both know it was overkill, it was too much, it wasn't fun, it wasn't sports entertainment, it was just brutal, but it showed a mean streak.
It did. But also as a side note, to your credit, I saw you on some of your one-man shows. You were saying you thought that The Rock needed a harder edge for Stone Cold because he was headed to me. I was watching that, and this is new to me, and I was like, well, hell, that's pretty cool of Mick to be thinking that Rock needed a harder edge to face me, so you were setting that edge for him.
That's what I'm shooting for.
Hey, that's what you're shooting for, but I mean that's pure business.
Yeah.
Not everybody approaches that standpoint like that.
If your goal isn't to be the best, you're in the wrong business. It's like, my goal is to be the best too, but in a sense, I know I'm the pulling guard. And I'm going to be the best. And I have full faith that if I do my job right, I'm going to get over. But I also realize I need to open up a hole for the star. And the star is Rock. And so I'm going to do whatever I can, you know. And when people want to talk about the top workers and that's all, you know, the
Yeah.
one thing I will say is when I put my mind to trying to make sure somebody was more valuable when we were done, that I thought I was one of the most effective people at it. And if that guy wasn't more effective, then I would feel like we failed, no matter how good the matches were. And so the last thing I wanted was for Dwayne, who's so funny anyway, to be getting a half and half reaction when he's in there. We all know eventually it's just inevitable.
Right.
You know, it's just inevitable. He's too entertaining. But that's January. We got to make it 8 more weeks, 9 more weeks. It's like, this is the way we're going to do it. And I felt like when he came out of that situation, even though I did win it back at the halftime heat, I was against the idea of me winning the title. So when Vince tells me and Rock that he wants to do a title change, it seems like bad business to me because I'm like, we're going to change titles 3 months before this program? And I swear, I was like, I don't swear, I exaggerate and say, I think I saw Rock looking for Ashton Kutcher to come jumping out of a bush because people don't turn down title runs. And I was like, I don't know if it's good business. And then Vince has to talk me into the wisdom of having us exchange the title.
But okay, but before we exchange the title, you're going to gain the title January 1st, 1999. You want to tee this up?
Oh man, we're taping our show. We do one live show at the Worcester Centrum, and now
we do a live show, then we tape a show.
Tape a show, so it's not going to air until the following Monday. So it's the end of December, a few days after Christmas, when I actually win that title. WCW decides to give away the ending of that match in the hopes that it will prevent anybody from watching. It's not Tony Schiavone's fault. It's not Eric Bischoff's fault. We're going to fight for our wrestling lives in that case, you know? And Eric and I are good. Tony and I are good. It's turned out to be the greatest thing that can happen. Doesn't mean it didn't hurt like hell when I found out it was happening, which is they gave away that finish. Don't even bother. We know that Mick Foley, who wrestles in Mankind, I don't know if I have the words exact, wins their title. And then Tony says real dismissively, that'll put butts in seats. And then even worse goes, ugh. I was like, I'm an ugh? Like after everything I've done, like maybe I am by some standards a journeyman, but as far as journeymen go, I'm up here. So what they didn't anticipate was that within seconds of revealing the ending of our match, that I believe it was 500,000 homes or people, one or the other. And within a day, whether or not I was a journeyman or not, I don't know, but I know that after that day was over, I was seen within the business as being a superstar because we had taken a taped show that by all rights they should have trounced because they were live in front of 42,000 people at the Georgia Dome. We're taped at the Worcester Centrum, which is an 8,000 or 9,000 seater, and we end up winning and winning big.
And it was a great match and a great story. And here's the very end of that match, which once again, you and I get to cross paths.
Double on DDT on the title.
Yep.
That
Boom.
title was kind of spinning. So we got.
Rock, you gotta close the eyes, man. I hate that giveaway.
Wide open. Wide
yeah,
open.
come on, man.
Go for the sock.
There's a sock. Gotta be over now.
Wish I knew where that sock was. My kids had made that sock for me too.
Okay, here we are. We're about to go home. Here we go. Feed in. Nice feed. There to go. Mr. Sacco applied effectively. He's going down. He's going down. Here's going. Oh, Shamrock.
Oh, World's Day's most
What in
dangerous
the
man.
hell? Billy Gunn freight trains his ass. And down he goes. Boy, he is on him too. Shamrock was a tough dude,
He
but
was.
Billy was badass.
Yes, he was.
Okay, complete mayhem. Okay, to hit my music. I'm gonna come out and give a hand.
Look at Shane, he's so young there.
Look at the expression on Vince's face. Nice share. Pull back a little bit. Wham, there you are. Earl, watch this championship count. laying there in a pile of humanity. You on top.
Look at it.
That's a championship count.
Oh,
No rush
man.
cadence.
Yeah.
Look at that big swinging count.
swing, bam,
That's,
yeah.
He's such a great heel. All right, here you are. In the documentary, you get to talk about Daddy-O.
Oh, Big Daddy.
Listen to that crowd. I hope that the guys and gals in the business today, when this pandemic ends, can get back in front of crowds
Yeah.
like this. So you win the championship that night, but then all of a sudden you see what the ratings did.
Yeah.
What'd that do for you?
Oh, it was such a feeling of gratification. I waited to call Tony until I heard the ratings. And then I just did my best mournful lift him out. Tony, it's Mick Foley. Yeah, I heard what you guys did. I didn't think it was necessary. And in truth, it probably just gonna hurt your ratings. I did a lot for that company. Okay, bye. And about an hour later, my wife says, Mick, Tony Schiavone's on the phone. He sounds so sad. And he just says, hey, I respect you. I'm doing what I've been asked, It turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to me.
To me, that was one of the highlights of your career, winning the championship from The Rock. But I think when you started working with The Rock, it even raised your stock as a character and a performer.
Yeah, we had planted those seeds with that great rivalry. That's what helped it make sense. So now as time goes by, Mankind becomes even more endearing to the fans. The Rock, of course, as is inevitable, starts getting cheered. He's still got that tough edge. He's still got the harder edge. He never makes like a changing character, but people love him because he's so entertaining.
Right.
And now he's in need of some help. And in the same arena where I defeated him for the title, Worcester, Massachusetts, out of nowhere, at least to the fans' eyes, I come up and I don't think there was a conscious effort. I don't think anyone told me start using his catchphrases. But I just started doing it. He would say, the people need The Rock. They want The Rock. The people, they need Mankind as The Rock's partner. They want Mankind. And it resonates with every single person there because they remember the rivalry. And now here are these two guys, good guys, baby faces. They join forces in what is it's like a great odd couple for the ages. He's really hesitant to embrace Mankind as a partner, but Mankind kind of works his way in. The original plan, Steve, was to get his defenses down and turn on him so that we could run that rivalry again. But now Mankind's the heel, Rock's the babyface. But two things happen is one, I'm not sensing the opening. The one time there's this great opening, it's on SmackDown, which is a tape show.
If you smell what The Rock...
And The Rock's glasses come off. He does his thing. And the glasses come off, and I bend down, I pick them up, I put them back on his face.
The Rock thanks you for that.
The Rock thanks you for that. But they don't show it on TV. And it's like, there's the moment. And they didn't show it. So I'm like, I need this moment for him to embrace me before I can turn on him. But the more important aspect was that the fans, it felt so real. Like it was so working so well. I remember calling Vince saying, I don't want to do this heel turn. Vince, I feel like people are really responding. Like I realize I'm coming slowly but surely to an end. My knees are giving me trouble. Like it's real. People feel it on a definite basis. And that's part of the reason I think why the character still resonates, because they felt it. It wasn't something they were being led to or asked to do. Like the connection was very real, and I didn't want to lose that. And I didn't think we needed it. I didn't think Rock needed it. I thought there were other people he could wrestle with, and I thought there were other places that I could go with it. And because we didn't do the turn, it allowed people to have those great memories of the Rock and Sock connection. I have fans come up to me, you guys, we're the greatest tag team in history. And I'll say, can you name one match we had?
Right.
They can't. What they do remember is how we made them feel.
I'd like to take you to a backstage segment where you think you're conversing with The Rock.
Rock?
This is great.
Rock, can I come in?
And it's amazing how much you made people feel for this character.
Yeah. He's on a phone call, right?
Yes.
That's something important I have to get off my chest, and I don't want to mince words, so I'm going to come right out and say it. Sure. I think we should just call it quits.
Absolutely.
Break up the connection.
You sure you want to do that, though?
It's just that there's so many other kids who need my help, who need my guidance, and you're almost there.
Right. Well, The Rock feels that way as well, too.
You're gonna make it on your own.
Right.
You're gonna be somebody.
Hold on 1 second.
Who are you talking to? Hey, don't get excited. Don't get excited. I'm just here to say that you're gonna be all right, kid. If you ever need me, I'll be there.
Great chemistry, great moment. But to look at the work that you put into the guy who, came into the company pulling hair out of his head with the mask, the shirt. I mean, this diabolical.
Yeah.
Some people call you crazy. A method to your madness, a work, and someone with high intelligence pulling this off. To make people love that character, not an easy road to go down.
No.
But you navigated it so well.
Man,
And a lot of people like to call you the everyman, but you weren't the everyman, but you made the everyman feel what you were feeling.
and specifically, I think as time goes by, that was a character that certain people felt a kinship to, especially if they didn't feel like they fit in. And so it allowed people, hundreds of people, thousands probably, said, you were the guy who made me feel like it was okay to be different.
As the Rock and Sock connection kind of winds down, you would end up in a Hell in a Cell match, a retirement match with Triple H. What brought you to make this decision? You saw the writing on the wall?
I did.
Talk about the timing, or was it a contract thing?
It wasn't a contract thing. The book comes out, Have a Nice Day is doing great. It's #1 on the charts. But at the same time, I'm not only having trouble with my knees and my back, but with my memory as well. I'd had a match, Al Snow and I were the tag team champions at the time. It was the first match I remember having to be edited because of the quality. I did my move where I think Bob Holly catches the boot, spins me, and I fell down. I made a couple of real awkward mistakes. I was really let down because I always put a lot of pride in the performance, and I didn't want to be the guy phoning it in. And that night, I really felt like I let myself down. And Vince said, Mick, you just had your last match. And I was like, you sure you don't want to do one way? Nope, that's it. And then what happens is my announcement coincides almost directly with your surgery. And now, I have to realize that I'm part of the team. The team needs me for a couple months, right? Hunter's about to take off as the #1 heel. He needs somebody to work with to further establish him in that role. And deep down, I want to go out with the type of matches that I had. This is not a knock on Big Show, but Big Show wasn't ready to be that guy then. And so Vince asked me and Hunter if we thought we could pull off main event quality matches. Yes, we can. And now I've got 6 weeks. I asked him to take me off the road, so I'm not getting beaten up. I'm going to get in shape. And I dropped probably about 30 pounds for that first match I had with Triple H at the Garden, which is one of the best matches I've had in my career. And then that leads us to the retirement match at Hell in a Cell. So I'm retiring because I feel like the time is right. I want to go out on top. I want that one last program to allow people to remember me the way that I want to be remembered.
It was a hell of a match. How'd you feel when, the 3 count was counted and there you are? For me, it's like 1,000 pounds was lifted off my back. I said that in my documentary. What did you feel after this? This was a hell of a match.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Did you cry when you were in your room alone?
No, I didn't cry, but I was sitting there and I was having some beer. And I would cry almost all day long because I knew what was coming, so I avoided everybody that day, and I just came out of the hospital. No, I just remember going to my room and just kind of having a couple cold ones, and it was just like, I didn't know what was coming next. I just felt, and this is about you, but I just felt, to answer your question, just relieved. Didn't know what was
Yeah.
next because I don't plan. And so I wasn't lost yet. I would end up getting
Yeah,
lost,
yeah.
but I felt relief.
My father came to the match, my brother, they got to see me backstage. I had gone out the way I hoped to with Triple H's help. You know, he brought out the best of me, really did. That's a mark of one of the greats. You know, can they bring the best out of somebody? And he did, and we brought out the best in each other. I treated myself to a much nicer room than I normally would. Ordered some room service, and then sat on my bed and cried. Yeah, because you've had the greatest moment in your life, and then the people you love the most are not there with you. My dad had been there, my brother had been there, but it was like I'm all by myself in this room, and it's pretty freaking lonely.
But you would come back and you would face one Randall Orton
Yeah.
in a great match. It was a hardcore match. And I know you're very proud of this. I know
Yeah.
Randy's very proud of it. I thought this made Randy into, he was always a real good looking guy, a great worker,
Yeah.
smooth, and everybody considered him a great worker. Right now, I think he's a monster promo
Yeah.
on top of everything. I thought this match brought it out of him as being, hey man, this is a really tough son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
It was such a great match because both of us came out better for it. A month earlier, I'd come out. I hadn't had a match in 4 years. I teamed up with The Rock against Evolution. I can't watch that match because I know in my heart I didn't try to be the best I could. I was like, if I was baseball, I was hoping to fly out to left. And that's not the way, you make an impression. And I had a second chance. And I went back and I watched a lot of the things I did on the independent scene, especially stuff I did with Sabu, where the money was pretty limited, but we were going all out. And I was like, I mean, if this was my Eye of the Tiger moment, like I remember who I am. It reminded me who Cactus Jack was. And I knew, Steve, when I had a big match that I had to take a shot in that first minute to almost jolt me into another reality. And Randy was, he was everything I could have wanted and more. So much so that when I made it home the next day, it's a long trip, I get home, my youngest son was in the hospital, he's dehydrated, so I watch him for a few hours. And when I go home, I watch Raw. And I can feel it the moment they say his name that he's on another level. And I'm thinking to myself, man, he's in Calgary. Edmonton's not that far from Calgary. Something really important took place last night. And so it was one of the great contributions, I think, to be able to be in that role for him. And again, he took me to heights that I couldn't have gone without him. And I think I took him places he couldn't have gone without me.
I agree with that. And then just a couple years after that, getting ready to go home, you're going to have another hardcore match with Edge at WrestleMania. And the WrestleMania moment that you've been clamoring for your whole career finally happens.
Yeah.
Let's go to the footage and then talk to you about this. Lita was awesome,
Lita
was she not?
Great. Oh, man. And there was that one move, I say I always took care of my opponent.
Yep.
There was that one moment where I say, Lita, when you feel like you need to leave, she's on my back and I'm going to clothesline Edge. Like, this is you. You don't have to do it.
She went over.
She went over.
We got it.
She was magic that night.
Now, you've said something. You needed that
boom.
shot.
I need it.
That
I need
brought
it.
you
Yeah,
in right
I do.
there.
I do. Now I'm Cactus Jack and boom.
Yeah.
And it looks strange because I've got that black flannel on. Edge is going to hit me with the spear, and it turns out I've got the barbed wire on underneath it, which I actually borrowed from Bret Hart. He did a similar thing with Goldberg. Here he goes, spear, boom. People think it's the end, but look at Edge.
Sound like me, but he also gets gaffed in the process, so it looks great.
People don't understand why he's selling it. Like, what are Foley's abs made of steel? And then, now here's the reveal.
The reveal, got some wire cutters. What kind of training did you have to do to get ready for this match?
Man, I wasn't in the shape I was 2 years earlier. I was about 300 pounds instead of 270. My back was really giving me problems at that time. And so I should have been in better shape, but luckily I got a guy there who's working around my weaknesses.
Well, and a guy who's
Yeah.
going to let it take time.
Yeah. So I called it the procession of the gimmicks.
Right.
You know, where each and everything we produced was bigger and better than the last one. And Adam, or Edge, to me, he was the best all-around performer in the business at that time.
Yeah.
What he needed was that one. Here we go. Jeez, I love Amy for this. I do.
She's badass.
And she knows there's a risk.
Yeah.
Look at her. She, boom.
Stayed
Yeah,
right
there she
in
goes.
it, moving it out.
So happy when I saw she was okay.
Yeah. She's caught a little bit of that barbed wire. Boy, you are a bloody mess.
Yeah. Edge got the tax.
Brass knucks, just in case.
Just in case. Joey Styles is calling the match. He's doing a great job. I think he referred to the weapons of mass destruction. And Edge, he's always on his game, right? Facial expressions, body language.
Spreading the thumbtacks out. Taking his time, feeding in. There you are. Good right hand.
Underwear showing, I don't care. I'm not pulling up the pants because I'm so involved in the match. And here it comes. We know Foley's going to land in there.
But you do, but you don't. Yeah. Jack, Meg, you've been in this position so many times. You remember that one time you tried to do thumbtacks with me, and I said, I don't think we need it.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, but what is Edge feeling right there?
Here's the thing about the tax. Having 150 in you doesn't hurt much more than having one in the palm of your hand. Bro.
Okay.
You know,
I'll take your word for that.
And that camera's gonna anesthetize. And we know we only have a certain amount of time before that stuff dries up.
Here we go. Get ready.
And
Nicely done.
There we go. And she's gonna take that fluid.
Yeah,
and
she's going to continue on
continue
because
on.
now her guy is going to be in control.
I wish I hadn't looked back, but I did. I will tell you that I'm wearing shoes that my children had decorated. That meant a lot to me. Yeah, I'm a bloody mess there. She lights that up, and here
Light
we
it
go.
up.
It's go time. Here he goes. Boom.
Okay. You're. Oh man, dude, you are just a mess. But you've got flannel, a t-shirt,
Ed's got nothing.
nothing.
Nothing. Look at him coming over. He looks like he's in shock, right?
I'm laughing in a good way.
I know.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Lita cost him that barbed wire. One.
Edge. He does the same thing to me that Rock did to you. And only in our business can that come across and not be homoerotic in the least when one man does I love you, especially after the damage we just did to each other.
Here it is.
A WrestleMania moment.
Dude, this is the culmination of a body of work with a relationship established with the crowd and affecting people's emotions.
Right there.
Okay, you go out with the L, giving him the W, right?
Yeah.
Same with me, but I mean, your feelings as you're walking out here.
I feel like I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
Cloud 9. And then only in wrestling. I borrow Ric Flair's shampoo and I sit and watch the rest of the show next to Vern Gagne. Like things that I would not have foreseen for myself breaking into wrestling. I'm going to have my WrestleMania moment. At that time, we didn't think of WrestleMania moments. I blame Shawn Michaels, Mr. WrestleMania, right? Like when I retired, you didn't need a WrestleMania moment, but he kind of called attention to it. And then I wanted Edge to put pressure on me for never having actually had one. Good matches, but nothing legendary. And then with his help, you know, I had that moment.
How did you feel after that match? What did it do to you physically? I would imagine you're in pain for 4 to 6 weeks.
I remember, I don't think I had a cell phone yet. So
Jesus Christ. You're killing me.
I go out surreptitiously, get a hood pulled over, I use the payphone, and I call my wife. I'm expecting her to shower me with sympathy. The first thing she says is Edge okay? I don't know. He looks like he's been in shock, right? Is Edge okay? And then I sleep in, and I don't go home. I know this is going to put a lot of wear on me. I stay an extra day in Chicago, and this is at the point where WWE starts having their Monday Night Raw in the same city,
Yes.
in the same venue, and Edge has to go out there and do a match. So I always thought the toughest part of our job was psychological, because WrestleMania is our Super Bowl. They say, "Hey, you just won the MVP. What are you doing?" "Hey, I'm going to Disney World." In our case, you just won WrestleMania. What are you going to do? I'm going to get in a car. I'm going to drive 250 miles, and I'm going to do it all over again tomorrow. Now, in this case, they're in the same city, but still, you hit that emotional high, and now you have to get there again the next night, and it's really demanding, and he was able to do it. I was able to come back off of that and team up with Edge for ECW One Night Stand, and then I had a singles match with Ric Flair for SummerSlam, kind of a semi heel turn, because Shawn Michaels had made me see the value of the temporary heel turn. He turns heel on Hogan, they have their match, and then all's forgiven.
Right.
And it was like, what? I've got this opportunity to do something cool and fun, team up with Edge, work with Rick. And I just wish I'd call it quits after that match with Rick. You were one of the few people who didn't stay past his welcome. I wish I'd been there with you, but I just couldn't stay away.
I don't want to gloss over your TNA run.
Yeah.
How was the TNA run?
You know what?
After you've been on top of the world.
Steve, one valuable thing I learned is you should be able to appreciate things in life for what they are, not for what you wish they are. The economy had just collapsed. I'm given a chance. I can be creative. And instead, I let all the things that I thought were wrong get to me and sour my experience. So to this day, I consider Dixie Carter a good friend. Look at what they did. They gave guys like me a chance to make a good living in a really difficult economic time. They gave breaks to guys like Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, guys who probably couldn't have supported themselves. Maybe so with Japanese tours, but put them on the map.
To do really good things with WWE.
To do really good things with WWE. And I remember talking to Vince after we'd had a year and a half without talking. And he left a message for me and says, "I know you don't like me, but I know you love this company." I find myself calling him back saying, "I like you," and now we're talking and I'm saying, "Vince, I gotta be honest, like you guys have these Elimination Chambers matches. And outside of like the 7 or 8 guys, we had more talent in our company as far as household names than they did. But they are the Jell-O brand gelatin. Like there's no other Jell-O.
Yeah.
You can't even go and say, my Jell-O is just, no, brother, we're good with the Kleenex brand tissue. Like there's no other tissue. And so for a lot of our fans in WWE, they did know we were elsewhere, but this is the environment we like to see you in. And when you come back to that environment, we'll be waiting for you. I had a really good time my first year there. And then I just stopped believing in the company, and they let me out of my contract, and I went and did some other things that didn't involve wrestling. And then over time, like it usually happens, I rediscover my passion, and I, come back and I get to make a contribution in my own way.
You get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2013. Boy, for a guy who thought he had a glass ceiling, and your wife said, "Hey, you can be greater than that glass ceiling." You go into the Hall of Fame. It's the same question I ask you, everybody. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean,
I'm so lucky because
in the business, you don't think you're going to be in the Hall of Fame.
No, and I look at I watched the NFL Hall of Fame, and they got cars bypassing the field there in Canton, Ohio. The lighting's not great. Look at that. Everything WWE has done so well. I got a sold-out house. This is a place I used to take trains to and hitchhike to. They don't give me any guidelines, for time. And because there was so much star power on that, Bruno's coming back, right? And Arnold Schwarzenegger's inducting him. Backlund's there. Stephanie's inducting Trish. So I get to have whoever I want. So I have Terry Funk, and he tells, he does a great job It's short, it's funny, it's poignant, and I go out there and I just honestly didn't think I'd ever be addressing a crowd, an arena that full again. I was wrong. I came back as GM, had several more chances to do it. I just enjoyed every second of it. It was just a fantastic time. I really appreciated it. I'll argue with anybody. I thought we had the best class, with Bruno, Backlund, Booker, me, Trish. It was great.
Along with a great locker room that we
Yeah,
had,
yeah.
when we were all in WWE, just during that Attitude Era.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, damn near everybody in that locker room was in the Hall of Fame. Before we go, one-man shows, you still out doing those? I know you kind of started doing those.
Yeah.
Kind of keep your mind sharp. And,
I did.
I'll
tell you, this is funny. One of the things that really helps is the show in Pittsburgh. I love doing them. Steve, there are certain nights where things are really going right, and it feels like you have the crowd in the palm of your hand. It's like it's so close to the way we used to feel when we were in the ring. There are other nights I try to avoid weekends, especially late night Fridays, and people have had too much to drink because I'm a storyteller, not a joke teller. It really throws off the timing. And there are nights when you realize, all right, this is going to be hard work. The idea of going out there, Chris Nowinski, who heads up co-founded the Boston Center for Traumatic Encephalopathy. I think it's called the Concussion Legacy Foundation now, but as long as I can continue to say Boston Center for Traumatic Encephalopathy, that's a good sign to me. I said to him, I said, Chris, I feel like I'm sharper. And he said, well, your brain it's a muscle. And what you're doing out there, you are exercising it. It's like mental gymnastics because you have stories you've worked on that you are, having to recall. You're doing some crowd work and you're creating new stories. Like this is the best of all elements. And one of the things I do on these little cameo videos is I bring out Dude Love as the guy who's convinced he was much more important to the business than he actually was. And he will just automatically assume he's everybody's favorite face of Foley. And the one thing the name he's always dropping, "Oh, Daddy, you know me, the man who teamed up with Texas's own homegrown Chrome Dome." I have said Texas's own homegrown Chrome Dome about 150 times over the last year because I feel if I can just take these things in a different place and kind of get into that promo mode, again, I'm not writing stuff out, kind of freewheeling it. I really enjoy myself. It gives me a chance to get out there. It's a way, that beard was a little too fakely, it was a little too dark.
Good look for you, kid.
The natural jet black hair in my 50s.
A guy like you could run a gimmick like that a long way.
Long time. But I love doing it, and I know I'm going to be hitting the southwestern states that I didn't hit, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. I'll probably do those January, February, March. If you want to see what I'm doing, then go to realmickfoley.com.
Hey, man, it was great talking to you. Congrats on a hellacious career.
Steve.
What do you got for me?
It's my own beard oil.
You have your own beard oil?
Beard oil. Oh, man.
Is this now mine?
It's now yours. If you ever wonder what it's like to get hit in the face with a peppermint patty, oh, brother. I love it. I love peppermint.
So when should I apply this?
And morning especially. It's not only good for the beard, but I put a little bit on the skin, really good for the skin. And it will invigorate you. And it's made out of some of the best and finest material.
I need all the invigorating I can get. In your biography, which everybody should watch, there's a question asked. Was it worth it? All the beatings, all the travel, the sacrifice, the bumps, everything that you're left with now. It wasn't answered. I'm asking you here now. Was it worth it?
Steve, honestly, there's some moments that hit a little too close to home. Steve McMichael with ALS. Oh, man. Seeing Tim Green, who was a great lineman and an author, reduced to a state where, very dependent. That stuff really hurts. But I'm doing whatever I can to stay vital. WWE's learned so much along the way. I hope that people don't make some of the mistakes I did, largely not admitting when we're hurt, because at that time we thought you were tougher to pretend you're not hurt than admit you are. It really takes a tougher man to admit they are. 20 years from now, I might have another answer, but yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. As far as the walking, the knees, the lower back, yeah. It kind of reminds me of who I was and what I accomplished.
It was worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Well, from my standpoint in watching you, I would hope that you would say that. I was relieved. As a guy who rode down the road with you, watched your entire career from start to finish, thanks for coming on the show. Congratulations on everything you've done. You've been one of the most influential people in the history of the business. A guy from the promo, ring style, hardcore, everything. You've given your heart and soul to the business. Congrats on a hell of a run. And when people look back and say, hey, man, what are some of the best runs ever? Mick Foley's in the conversation. And here was a guy that could never break through the glass ceiling. You broke through and then some. And Colette was right.
She was. Thank you,
Congrats.
Steve. Appreciate it. Great talking with you and catching up with you.
My name is Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is the living legend, Mick Foley. Broken Skull Sessions, we're out. And that's the bottom line because I said so.